Let's just do a complete new one, huh?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, you good? Yep. So here we are. I'm in Stuttgart. I'm at FANUC's headquarters here in Germany. And we've just been filming the latest episode of FANUC Talk, which is all about CNC performance. All of the guys that are with me here, ladies and gentlemen, have actually participated in it. It's been a fantastic production, but now it's time to relax and do a bit behind the scenes. Bernard, introduce yourself quickly to our behind the scenes audience and tell us what you actually enjoyed about the production today.
Yeah, my name is Bernhard Lusch. I'm head of sales responsible for automotive and tier 1 customers on the FA side. And we had a funny day today explaining the FANUC's high performance functionalities. And I liked all the parts except the parts where you asked me questions I didn't expect.
Bernard didn't even make a mistake. I think your takes were done literally in one, weren't they? I thought you must have done this before. Christiana, you enjoyed it?
I enjoyed it. First time being, in an interview setting with you, but you made me feel very welcome. And
what did you bring to the? What should our audience know that you spoke about? Because some really interesting topics.
Well, I actually, briefly mentioned a few things. Our great reliability of our products. I mentioned some examples from our production site in Japan, how we're continuously looking at improving our own production site, introducing more collaborative robots, the green guys instead of the yellow ones. The green robots can collaborate with our workers, and that's great for doing heavy tasks or any tasks that might just be difficult for a normal person to do on their own. So it was fun researching that, talking about it, and yeah, I loved it.
I also found out a fact about you. You speak 5 different languages.
Yeah, I do.
Which ones are they?
Well, a little bit of German, English, French, Italian, and Spanish, and I love to use them all.
And your 6?
I did.
6th language?
Well, the 6th language, kind of CNC, right?
Can you use one of these?
I can.
As well as Martin did today when he was showing me?
What I always like to do, I like to change the color or change the language settings, and so that's fun.
And it was thoroughly enjoyable working with you all, in fact. Andrew, you're head of sales on CNC, aren't you? Doing things like this is really important, isn't it? Being able to communicate your messages to a global audience.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate the opportunity just to sort of give the audience information about our latest CNC products. We wanted to emphasise the new functions and features that we have on board. The fact that FANUC CNC is the control for milling, 5-axis applications. So, yeah, it was a great opportunity to put those points across, Paul.
And Martin, yourself, you absolutely loved it, didn't you?
Yes.
You loved every minute of it.
I loved every bit of it, yes. It was a very interesting experience.
And of all the bits you loved, again, if you watch the FANUC Talk show, you'll see Martin does a brilliant illustration or demonstration on the control. We go through some of how easy it is to use, isn't it? I mean, things have come on so far with the software.
Yes, they did. So we have many new functions that makes the life of the operator very easy on our CNC, and yeah.
And it was very interesting. It's a really good episode to watch. I also liked the way that a lot of the themes blended together, because we talked about automation, we talked about how easy these systems are to use, not just from a control perspective, but the automation as well. And we also talked about something that I'm hearing a lot about at the moment, which is digital twins. Bernard, that's obviously a topic that's quite close to your heart, isn't it? Can you maybe just describe again what people will be able to hear about on the FANUC episode?
Yeah, FANUC's digital twin concept is a concept that supports the machine tool builder on one side and the machine tool user on the other side. And the machine tool builder, with our digital twin concept, is able to develop his application for the machine tool, PMC programs, screens for his, let's say, machine tool, and also NC programs and macro programs. And he is able to test all this stuff on CNC Guide 2, without having the stuff available on a real CNC machine. So the processes, installing a machine and the software development can be done in parallel. And so this saves a lot of time, and the time to market when developing a new CNC machine is much shorter. So it's
And Andrew, I mean, it's a brilliant explanation, and it's something I learned a lot about today. I mean, Andrew, do you see a lot of this and getting involved in a lot of the digital twin aspect? And where do you see the real benefit?
Absolutely. I mean, as Bernard mentioned as well, it's not just the benefit for the machine tool builder, it's also a benefit for the machine tool user. So we have our PC application called CNC Guide 2, which is the replication on a PC of the actual CNC screen. And whereby the end user can basically develop his part programs, you can test them. We also have a software called surface estimation. This function allows the end user to run the program and actually get a real estimation of the surface finish of the component. So all this is done off the machine tool, so allowing the machine to be used for production. So the program, the CNC setup can be completely optimized to give the best surface finish of the part.
And I've also, I think I've seen this, and I think I'm right, in FANUC UK, where they've used this to look at projects for customers, whereas previously they would have had to have almost done prototypes to work out whether things are going to quite work, whether they're going to fit, what the end results are going to be, whereas they've kind of done it all in a virtual world and been able to cut out a lot of time and cost associated with developing a solution.
We have another software tool for called RoboGuide, which together with our CNC guide can basically simulate the machine setup and the complete automation solution offline, without actually having the machines.
It's kind of, it's taken away, well, it's de-risking a lot of stuff, isn't it?
Yeah,
Could
absolutely.
these sort of things not be used in life in general for when we're making decisions on things, just to check whether they're right or not? Martin, is there anything on the control that works in conjunction with digital twin here that we can see, or is there anything that gets close to it, or is it all offline?
The digital twin is offline. So we have on the control, of course, we have simulation functions. So when you create a part program on the control, you can then simulate it and see if you've done the programming right. But the digital twin part is then separated.
It's separate, but you've got some kind of verification on there which really checks whether you're going to have an accident. And again, it's doing a similar task, isn't it?
Right. So, but of course, with the digital twin, you do not block a machine, so you can do it all offline in the office. And here on the CNC, if you've done some modifications that might influence the machining, then you can do another check on the machine.
Cristiano, you mentioned to me in one of the conversations we had about how FANUC are practicing what they preach with a facility in Japan. Could you maybe start with that story, because it is quite fascinating. We talk about how we're looking at automation and how it improves quality. Because there's a skills gap, people need it. But you've actually got a really good example of a story.
Sure.
When people should hear.
We had these buzzwords over the past couple of years. People talked about Industry 4.0 and how we should automate and think about our processes. And whenever customers came to me and asked me, like, okay, what do you offer? What does FANUC have to offer? I was always kind of smiling and almost laughing, because I was like, if you look at our own production and see how we set up our production, being completely automized using yellow robots in the beginning to really fight the shortage of skilled labor, we have applied the principle of automizing our production to the maximum. So we had Industry 1.0 before we even knew about the term here in Europe. So I think that's really exciting. And now FANUC over time has reassessed their production and looked at how could we even do this better with our latest robot generation. So we hear a lot about collaborative robots. FANUC has the CRX out now, and we have our green collaborative robot series. And we have this great example in our servo amplifier assembly process line, where FANUC was able to halve the capital investment and reduce the space it needed by a third by using 5 collaborative robots and 1 worker instead of 15 yellow industrial robots. And I think that's a great example that we could all use to kind of get inspired and share this with our customers, that how you can, even with established production and established manufacturing sites, we are still able to add automation. And we have some great functions we talked about as well that make it really easy using FANUC CNCs and FANUC robots with our QSSR that we talked about earlier.
To me, it just shows the focus the business has on practicing what they preach.
Yeah.
Andrew, part of our discussion as well was about recent investments in and developments in the CNC side.
Yep.
What has changed in the last couple of years, and what is new?
Well, we fairly recently launched our new CNC range. So that's the 30IB Plus series and the 0IF Plus series. So both of them have enhanced hardware specifications, new functions. A lot of features that were previously additional options are now standard in those controllers. We have various software packages to support the different technologies. So yeah, quite a lot packed in there, Paul. So really good specification and good functionality for the machines.
And what about on the buzzword at the moment about energy and costs that reduce? There's a lot in the CNCs, and not just in the software, but in the hardware, isn't there, with FANUC, that really contribute to people being able to make savings?
Yes, yeah, we've always been designing our products to be energy efficient. We have, for a long time had the power regeneration back into, from the servos back into the main system. So all our products are designed to be as efficient as possible. We have on our CNC screens, we've got energy monitoring screens, so we can see the CO2 emissions. So yeah, all the good stuff there.
Do you use your own energy efficiently? Only at weekends.
I try to, yeah.
I just want to conclude this really by talking about automation, because it's such a hot topic. Bernard, we touched on it as well about productivity and automation. What's your view on the global market and automation and where it's going, and how FANUC really contribute to that?
Yes, I think we see it the last years already. So machine tools are more and more equipped with an automation system. So a robot is part of the machine tool, and depending on the application, if it's grinding or turning, it's more or less used. But you see that the automation is getting more and more important on the machine tool side, and though the complexity is getting higher. And I guess with our product families on the CNC side and on the robot side, we have the best solutions for our partners.
Yeah, I think it's a very good statement. I mean, for me, automation is one thing, but adopting it and the ease of adoption. Martin, on the control systems that we've looked at and we talk about, how easy is it for an unskilled person to quickly learn how to bolt on automation to what you've got? Is it straightforward?
It's very straightforward, very easy. So we have, for instance, for shop floor programming, we have our G-code guidance functionality, where for all machining cycles, usually you would have to learn what's the meaning of all the arguments when doing the programming. So now with G-code guidance, everything is explained. You have graphical hints that show you what you need to program and to parameterize. So it's very easy for even for unskilled operator to
get to grips with
the functions.
Cristiano, you mentioned a word. I'm trying to think of the an acronym now. QSSR.
Yeah,
is that right?
Quick and simple startup of robotization is our buzzword for that.
Explain. What's that about?
Sure. So that's a software function that we offer for our CNCs, and we make working with the robot really easy, because you don't need to learn the robot programming language with QSSR G-code. You can write in DIN ISO G-code format. So this is great for all the machines that are out there in the field already, and you want to add on a robot at a later stage. So you don't have to change any macro variables in that sense. So yeah, it's a
and we
great
did that
and
in one
easy
take
functionality.
earlier as well, didn't we?
Yeah,
was it one
I think
take
so.
or 2 takes?
I don't know. I think I made everyone sweat a little bit. It took me a few takes to then get rolling, but.
Good stuff. Well, I just want to say thank you to you all. It's been a real pleasure today. It's been very enjoyable. Also, a big thank you to the production team and everybody behind us, which I think you need to see. So we'll give everybody a clap. One's just fallen over. That's it for this FANUC talk from behind the scenes here in Stuttgart.